Hello guys, and welcome to your GSE Market Wrap. This is where I'm going to share with you the most important news that happened over the past week. We're going to start off with the mining sector recording a record 17.7 billion for government. Then we'll look at SIC passing 1 Ghana Cedi for the first time in 5 years, whilst MTN having a massive sell-off for the week. Then finally, we are going to end off with ETI declaring or deciding not to pay dividends despite a stellar performance for 2024. So let's get into it. First off, we have a news from Novan Reports, right, saying the mining sector rakes in a record 17.7 billion for government in 2024. Now, when you read the report, it says Ghanaian mining sector posted a historic performance in 2024, contributing 17.7 billion to government revenue, representing a 51.2% surge compared to the 11.7 billion recorded in 2023. Additionally, they say that in addition to the overall fiscal contribution, dividends paid by mining firms to the state soared by more than 600% to 1 billion Ghana cedis, a significant leap that further reflects the sector's expanding profitability and strategic importance. Now, this is very amazing to see that the mining sector is performing so wonderfully, and especially with the commodity prices of things like gold and cocoa increasing year to date. You should expect that 2025 is probably going to be a better year than 2024. So I'm expecting that the performance for 2025 to be way more than 2024. And one thing that really stood out to me from the report was the dividend that was paid to the firm. Now I'm sure government is part of the shareholders of majority of the mining companies like Anglo Gold, Ashanti Gold, and those companies that are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And I'm also sure they probably have some partnership with the private companies that are not listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. So them receiving 1 billion in dividends just goes to show how profitable these companies are. And looking at the trajectory and the increase in commodity prices, you should expect that this profitability is going to continue. The only issue I really have with the mining companies in Ghana is, even though they are one of the companies apart from MTN that actually do pay dividends on a consistent basis, you really don't see their share prices moving up or down. Like their shares are really mostly flat at the same price. So unless you are a dividends investor, I probably wouldn't recommend that you go in for these companies, because in terms of the dividends, you are most likely going to receive it every single year, especially if their profitability continues. But if you are looking for maybe value appreciation in terms of growth in share price or capital appreciation, you will probably be waiting for a very long time. But then the dividends is a way to compensate, because I'm sure those who bought it for a long time now, because of the consistent dividend payments, they've probably made a return on their money. So that's one thing to note. Now, up next we have SIC, and they've just surpassed 1 Ghana cedis in shares, currently trading at 1.01 Ghana cedi per share. And this is the first time they've reached this milestone in 5 years. So as you can see from this chart, at the beginning of 2020, they were trading around 1 pesos per share. It moved all the way to 30 pesos around 2022, and it's now trading at 1 Ghana cedis per share. If you look at their revenues has been increasing, with last year's revenue being 557 million Ghana cedis, and a net profit of 56 million Ghana cedis. They also paid dividends for last year, but I'll probably have to see if they are going to pay dividends for this year based on last year's performance. So that's interesting to see. Now, I wouldn't really say that this company is overvalued, but then based on my investment strategy, especially when you look at the insurance company, I still think that Enterprise Group is a better company to get into rather than SIC. So if you are thinking of getting into or investing in a particular insurance company, I'll probably be looking at Enterprise Group, because when you compare those two companies in every single way, Enterprise is just a better company. And with my investment strategy, I try to focus on companies that are high quality and really strong fundamentally, especially with a strong competitive moat. So I usually look at strong fundamental companies, and based on my investment strategy, it just makes sense for me to rather go for enterprise group rather than SIC. Let me know down below if you own SIC and why. Now let's move on to MTN, and we can see that over the past month, MTN is currently down, and it's also currently down over the past week. It started off May at around 3 Ghana cedis, went all the way to 3.5 Ghana cedis, and it's now trading just about 2.8. So year to date now, MTN, as you can see, just 19%. It had a massive appreciation, and it's now back down to it has probably had I wouldn't say huge, but then a big sell-off, now trading at 2.98 Ghana cedis. And I think MTN, a lot of people are sleeping on it. I still believe it's one of the best companies to invest in the Ghana Stock Exchange, but I think this just gives me an opportunity to buy more. So yeah, that's just another thing that happened over the past week. Now finally, we end off this new segment with ETI, that's EcoBank's Transactional Incorporated. That's the parent company of EcoBank Ghana. And this news comes from Vault News, and it says ETI withholds dividend payment despite stellar 2024 performance. The EcoBank Group, parent company of EcoBank, has made a difficult decision not to declare dividends for its 2024 financial performance despite record outstanding results across all business segments. One of the board members said, "We wanted to strengthen the balance sheet to pave the way for accelerated growth. We faced the difficult decision of either servicing the debt and complying with existing debt covenants or paying dividends." So even though this company, ETI, the parent company of EcoBank, made a record 2 billion Ghana cedis in revenue and profits of about $333 billion, they record their numbers in dollars, not cedis, right? So they made $2 billion in revenue and $333 million in profits. They are deciding not to pay dividends. I don't really have an issue with that, especially the main reason why they are deciding not to pay. They said they want to strengthen their balance sheet, and that's always a great thing to see from companies. I want to see companies paying down their debts, especially at a massive rate. It might be bad for investors maybe in the short term because you are not getting those dividends that you look for it to, but in the long run it just makes the company better. So I don't have a problem with it, but let me know what your thoughts are. Are you disappointed that they are not paying dividends? Did you expect them to? Do you own ETI? And what are your thoughts about the company itself? Now we move on to upcoming dividends and corporate actions from the companies in GSE. Now these are the companies that are paying dividends over the next month. We have Unilever paying a dividend of 60 pesos, and the ex-dividend date is 19th May 2025 with a record date of 23rd June 2025. So if maybe you are new to investing and you don't really understand this thing, let me explain it to you. So the ticker is the company. The dividends amount, the ones in black are the dividends the company is paying. So Unilever is paying 60 pesos per share. But the ones in blue is what you are actually going to receive, just because if you don't know, in Ghana, dividends are charged with a tax of 8%. So I already went through and did the calculations. 8% on the dividends going to be paid, and this is the actual amount you're going to receive. So even though Unilever is paying dividends of 60 pesos, you are going to receive a dividend of 55 pesos just because you are going to pay tax of 8%. The ex-dividend date is the date that you need to own the shares before to be able to partake in the dividends exercise. So if you bought Unilever before 19th May 2025, you'll be able to get some of these dividends. But if you bought Unilever after 19th May, you wouldn't get these dividends. And the record date is the date they are going to pay the dividends. So they are going to pay the dividends at 23rd of June 2025. So you can see that the ex-dividend date has already passed. So right now, anyone who buys Unilever is not going to get these dividends. Yeah, I hope I've explained it as best as I can. EGH's EcoBank is paying a dividend of 34 pesos. The ex-dividend date is 11th June, and the record date or the payment date is 27 June. BOPP 90 pesos in dividends, 26th May 2025, so it's also passed, and the record date is 10th June. We have Farmok paying 8 pesos and Gold paying 5 pesos with a record date of 12 September and 11 July for Farmok. So we have some companies declaring their AGM, the annual general meeting. So Republic Ghana annual general meeting is on the 6th, on 25th of June 2025, and Access Bank having their AGM on 20th of June 2025. So if you own these shares and you are thinking of joining the annual general meeting just to get some information of how the company performs and if they are probably going to pay dividends, these are the dates, so just keep note of them. Now finally, before we end of this video, we have the flop of the day or hero of the day, and today we have the hero of the day. The hero of the day goes to Enterprise Group after being named among the top 100 fastest growing companies in Africa by the Financial Times in its 2025 annual rankings, recognizing the Ghanaian firm's strong and consistent performance over the last 3 years. So based on that, we are giving the hero of the day to Enterprise. They've performed massively well over the past 5 years, and being able to receive this award just to showcase how great they've been, I'm giving them the hero of the day. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of today's episode, and I would just like to say that if you like this style and you like this video, please just subscribe down below, comment and share to people you think might be interested in this as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.